There we are, live and direct from
Live
Podfood
and direct.
Studios.
Well, we have a lot of people bringing us treats. We're going to be very fat by the end of my convalescence, especially me. Steve's getting twice as much workout with walking the dog, but I'm getting zero exercise. So, but anyway, Lynn dropped by with cream de mint fudge today, which is to die for. And this last weekend, yesterday, Ed and his wife Jan brought us a full dinner, and I mean soup to nuts. They brought the hors d'oeuvres and the salad and the main course and the dessert and the wine. It was absolutely spectacular.
Quite tasty.
Yeah,
That was a good meal.
Oh,
And
look
there's
at Gracie.
Gracie on the scale, I assume. Lucky in love. St. Patrick's Day, I assume.
Oh, Kevin may be late. Technical difficulties.
All right, we'll allow it. Looks like we got a full house and you got a full show, so maybe you should kick in. Oh, we did not do an audio test.
And yeah, we did.
Okay. And everyone heard it all right?
Yeah, I have not done roll call, and it's almost all assembly, so we don't need to rush. It's still broke down trying to make the cocktails. All right. Let's see. We've got, Kevin is there. Kevin and Bruce and Lynn and Ed and John and Sutter and Ron, Sandy and Alistair from New Zealand.
Welcome, Alistair.
Where is, where's Jill. Jill snuck in there. There she is. And I was just about to say, where's Japan? I see Franco Carroll chatting. There we go. I don't see you in the chat channel.
Yeah, that's one of those side entries.
Yeah. All right. Actually, here's something really funny. So I don't know if you noticed, but it was very unusual last week. Oh, that's what I needed to talk about. Shoot, I need to change. Well, I'm gonna play the audio for the man in the purple suit, and I'm gonna update the Patreon ad when I do that. Yeah, Jill, people were asking after you. All right. And Ed? Didn't I say Ed? I thought I said Ed. All right. People are moving around. It's hard to tell. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, and this is show number 1089. We have a fantastic show today thanks to Scott Wilsey, Bruce from Tennessee, and Steve. Adam Engst and I have a thoughtful conversation for you, too. All right.
How about a little update on how your hip's doing?
Well, there's an idea.
Maybe throw some tech in there for good measure.
Well, tech in quotes.
Yeah. Not high tech, maybe.
Well, I'm calling it tech.
Practical tech.
I'm calling it tech. But before we get into that, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on how I'm doing after the big hip surgery of 2026. The good news is that every single day I find something I could do that I couldn't do right after the surgery or even just a few days before. Just being able to lift my leg when sitting in a chair seems like a small thing, but being able to do it now when I couldn't do it 2 weeks ago it's astonishing. How do you put on a pair of shorts if you can't lift your foot, even sitting? I can now sleep on my right, good side for nearly 45 minutes before it starts to hurt, while a week ago the left hip hurt way too much to do even that. I can take unsupervised showers now with a shower chair. That kind of gives me some of my dignity back. I have physical therapy rehab at home twice a week, which isn't nearly as often as I wanted, but my PT guy, Chris, is really good at his job. What I like is he listens to me and what I want to accomplish, and then he starts working me towards that. For example, until only recently, it was very painful to get in and out of bed. Something about the twisting motion required caused shooting pains in my hip joint. I told him about it, and he showed me a way to get out of bed pain-free. Now, I didn't end up needing his trick for very long because for some reason that doesn't hurt anymore. It doesn't hurt to get out of bed, but I sure appreciated it for the few days I needed his method. Wish I'd asked him sooner. As I mentioned before, I propel myself around the house with a walker where I'm only allowed to balance on my left toe and then full weight on my right leg. They call this toe touch weight bearing. I'm stuck in this mode until April 1st, and then I can finally start walking on the bad leg. I will still have to use a walker, mostly for stability. That won't be nearly as annoying, but it's to last for another 8 weeks. Not looking forward to that. Well, I'm really looking forward to not having the entire weight of my body on my arms. Using a walker at all times means that it's incredibly difficult to carry anything. For example, after Steve has made our meal, since I can't really help him, he has to carry all of the dishes over to the table. Then he has to clear all of the dishes at the other end. He's not complaining, but I bet this is getting pretty old for him as well. I do have a couple of assistive tech tools that help me with this, although I may be stretching the word tech to its extremes. While I was in the rehab hospital, my occupational therapist, Jen, suggested Steve bring in one of those white plastic bags you get at the grocery store if you forget to bring your own. We modified it a little bit to have it hang off the side of the walker, and that at least let me carry a few things around. Before I left the rehab hospital, it occurred to me that perhaps technology existed for this exact problem to be solved that was a little bit more elegant than a plastic bag. On Amazon, I found the Rhino Valley Walker Basket. This is a rectangular open canvas basket with kind of stiff sides. It's about 16 inches, a little bit less than an inch wide, and actually 0.79 inches wide. It's wider than that.
Yeah, that's
not right.
No, it's
Hang on.
Let me check the dimensions.
That's what it said in Amazon. That's not right at all, though.
15.75, 9.6. Oh, it doesn't really show a depth in this particular. Yeah, I just measure the depth and throw that in there.
About 6 inches.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Let me. Do you mind editing that?
No, you want 6.0?
6 inches? Yeah, 6 inches.
All right.
You bought camping bags from them? Oh, that's neat. This is a rectangular open canvas. This is a rectangular open canvas basket that's around 16 inches wide by about 6 inches. No, shoot. Yeah. It's really...
I would call it wide, high, and deep.
I'm going to call it...
high and deep.
Yeah, but they're not in that order.
Switch the order. Well, or do whatever order you want.
You know what? Go ahead and get out of that. I'm going to change it here.
Okay.
Because I can't think it that way.
Hold on, let me get out. All right.
16 inches wide. Across. And 6 inches deep. What is that dimension called? Away from me. Thick.
Deep.
No.
You think deep is down, not...
Yeah.
Not...
And 10 inches deep. Okay, and use the... There you go. This is a... No? What are you doing? Basket. This is a rectangular open canvas basket that's around 16 inches across, 6 inches thick, and about 10 inches deep, and it weighs less than a pound. It connects to the walker via a series of Velcro straps. In the picture on Amazon, the front of the walker is a straight bar. I don't think any walkers are straight at the front. They're normally arced out to make room for your body to move forward, and that's what mine looks like. As a result... As a result, it doesn't fit nearly as cleanly as it looks in the images, but it gets the job done. The Rhino Valley Walker basket also sports little slot pockets on the front to hold things like phones, notebooks, and pens, as well as a circular pocket for a water bottle. I happen to use a fairly small diameter water bottle that I got from the fine folks at 1Password, but if you have one of the larger ones, it definitely won't fit. Otherwise, nope, not otherwise, likewise. Likewise, it's very unlikely that you own a phone that would fit into any of these little slot pockets. I tend to use the large cavern just to throw things into and then carry them across the room and put them away. This means I can, pick up my own laundry and maybe carry something back to the kitchen if it doesn't have any liquid in it. It's definitely limited, but it provides me with some autonomy, like being able to carry my own clothes to the shower. The main reason I wanted to bring up this basket is because of those useless thin slots at the front. I figured out a perfect use for them. Before my injury, if I needed to get up into the middle of the night, I could usually make it to the bathroom and back. Now, I gotta emphasize usually. Before my injury, if I needed to get up in the middle of the night, I could usually make it to the bathroom and back without running into anything. However, you may remember a few years ago when I broke my toe stubbing it on the table that's at the foot of our bed. And, just executing that tough maneuver of walking to the bathroom, it isn't without its dangers. Being in my more delicate condition now. Stumble over every word. Come on. Being in my more delicate, it's not a hard word to say. Being in my more delicate condition now, tripping over a dog toy or a cat in the middle of the night would be catastrophic. I clearly needed a light source, but I wanted one that didn't wake up Steve. I use a case on my iPhone made by a company called Taurus that I've told you about in the past. The reason I like the Taurus cases is that they have a little pop-out ring that you can use as a way to secure the phone in your hand or to create a little stand. It turns out that I can slide that little ring partially open into the front of the walker, which then faces the iPhone screen forward in front of me. If I tap on the phone without unlocking it, it lights up. It's not bright like having the phone on, but it's just light enough to give me a little beacon to help me make my way to the bathroom and back safely, and it doesn't awaken Steve. Okay, and Taurus is spelled wrong the second time. I've been dictating and I don't think it noticed the right spelling. All right, I got to remember to push that up when I'm done. Remember last week or the week before, I told you about a nifty hip kit that we bought that included such amazing technology as the sock aid? If you missed that excitement, I put a link to the article in the show notes so you can make sure you check that out too. In that article, I neglected to mention the handiest thing that was in that kit. It's called a grabber reacher tool. This is a 32-inch long tool that has a pistol grip on one end that you squeeze. When you do that, 2 fingers pull together with a rubber grip at the other end. I've seen these advertised on TV for years, and I always thought it was silly, but I probably use this 5 or 6 times a day. One of the reasons it's so useful is that you can easily collapse it to half of its full length. It actually fits inside my little walker basket when it's collapsed. I can pick up anything light, including Kepler's toys that he is wont to leave about the floor, and I can kind of fling them toward the basket. My accuracy is... there's a period missing at the end of that sentence. Where did I just see that? Collapsed. There it is. Basket. My accuracy isn't great, but at least it gets them out of my way. Picking up clothes is easier, but heavier things can be a challenge with the grabber reacher. It's still pretty strong though. A couple of times, my laptop bag containing my MacBook Air and my 13-inch iPad Pro has been lying flat on the ground too far for me to reach to pick it up. I was able to grab the handle of the laptop bag, lift it up and rotate it onto its bottom, and then drag it over to where I could reach it standing at the walker. I certainly can't lift the backpack, but being able to move it that much when it's that heavy was pretty impressive. I put a picture of the grabber reacher tool in the show notes with a link to Amazon for a $15 version of this tool. This is not unique. You can find a ton of different ones in different colors with different grips and possibly lower prices. I plan on keeping this thing around for reaching under the couch to get things like Kepler's toys and maybe things that have fallen down behind the desk. Hey, wait a minute. I think I could use this to grab cables that have fallen down, couldn't I? I might buy more of these. If you find yourself worrying about me, please send some of your mental energy towards Steve because he's doing yeoman's work here. He has to help me up and down the stairs every time I need to move. He has to do all of the cooking, all of the dishes, all of the dog walking, carrying every little thing from downstairs to upstairs and back and even across a room. I try to thank him every single time, and he's not showing any signs of wear just yet, but I do worry about him. I know this hasn't been the deepest tech story I've ever written, but I hope you'll bear with me over the coming weeks while I try to get my legs back under me, literally.
I think you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. You are doing wonderful.
I mean, the other aspect is you're not showing that you're getting depressed about your condition. You're keeping an upbeat
most of the time
attitude. Most of the time. There may have been a couple exceptions early on.
Yeah, well, talking to nitwit doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, he was
that
horrible.
Was an exception.
Yeah, that was bad. My surgeon's an idiot. Just to give you just a brief glimpse into it, when the day I broke my hip, he showed me us an x-ray of my hip, and he said, look, this is a clean break, but the good news is it's perfectly aligned. The two pieces didn't shift at all, so it's going to be super easy to bolt it back together. You're in good shape. I go to see him 3 weeks later, and he goes, man, you're healing really well, which is remarkable because this was a terrible break. It was super misaligned, and it was a big hot mess. I can't believe you're healing so well. So... yeah, I don't think he had any idea what my x-ray looked like.
No, well, or forgot.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody. Oh, Jan had the same question you had. She said, how old is he? Like, is he losing it? All right. Oh, I've got to remember to read at the end of this. Don't let me forget to read. There's a part of this at the end that I need to read.
I just threw up a picture of you scooting around on your walker outside.
Yeah. So, that's a classic thing that this depressed me. That day we went 4 houses down, and our lots are about 50 feet wide. So counting half of of our house, that was like 225 feet, right? And the next day I thought, wow, I'm gonna do even better the next time. And I pushed it really hard, and we went 7 houses, so 750 feet. This was going to be, what's that?
Yeah.
And boy, we were really pulling out all the stops, and I was really proud of myself. But my hand started to get a little sore on the way back. I realized I put a 1-inch diameter blister into the palm of my hand, right where I need to carry my whole body for the next 3 weeks.
How's that feeling?
It's better, but God, trying to find a different spot to lift your whole body up. And it had no value. Like, what was I strengthening? My right leg is strong enough. It's carrying my whole body all the time. That's all I did was my arms and my leg. What I need is to strengthen my left leg. All right, we're going to listen a little bit of... Stop it.
Man, John,
actually,
that's...
We're going to see we're going to see Steve's dad this coming weekend, and Steve wants to stage some walker races.
Yeah, that'll be his 91st birthday.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to play the beginning of this here. Over the coming weeks, while I try to get my legs back under me, literally. Whoop, that's money. No money. Bear with me over the coming weeks while I try to get my legs back under me, literally.
This must be the season of injuries, because you've all heard about Allison's horrible injury that she suffered recently. And while I'm not going to try to compete with that, I have an injury of my own that has forced me to look into alternative ways to use my Mac. Hi, my name is Scott Wilsey, and I want to talk about WhisperFlow today. WhisperFlow is a voice-to-text AI program. It's dictation. Let's just say it that way, okay? It's dictation. Now, you're probably asking, okay, dictation, that's great. Don't Mac and iOS already come with dictation built in? And the answer is yes. Yes, they do. The problem with the Apple built-in dictation is the same problem that Siri has, that Apple AI has, Apple Intelligence, I should say. It's not very good. It does a lot of dumb things. It doesn't understand a lot of words that I say. It doesn't hear everything that I say unless I yell at the same volume for the entire sentence or paragraph. It is very comma and period happy. It divides my sentences up into sentence fragments that make no sense, or it puts commas where commas don't belong. I'm sure you've heard all the comma jokes, such as a comma can save a life, let's eat grandma versus let's eat grandma. Or back in the day, excessive use of commas was considered a very serious crime. It usually resulted in a long sentence. So yes, commas and where they're put in a sentence are important, and Apple dictation just does not do it for me. So, what is my injury besides my obvious sense of humor? One day a few months ago, I was kind of running down the hall towards my office to log on to get onto a meeting, and I had a cup of coffee in one hand and a cup of water in the other. I couldn't see the floor because of that, and I tripped over something that was in the floor due to stuff being moved around my house. That's fine. I spilled my coffee, I was wiping it up, and somehow I destroyed the tendon at the distal end of my middle right hand finger. This resulted in a splint, it resulted in me typing weird, and eventually it resulted in surgery, and I'm still recovering from that right now. So I like to use a lot of dictation. I don't want to type an email, I don't want to type a message to my coworkers, I don't want to do all that stuff, I just want to say it. And I started relying on Apple dictation, and again, just to reiterate what I've already said, not for me. And that's when I started looking to see, what do other people use for dictation on the Mac that they find effective? What do they recommend? And overwhelmingly, I found that a lot of people recommend WhisperFlow. WhisperFlow is at WISPRFLOW.ai. Whisper, WISPR, WhisperFlow. WhisperFlow has 3 plans. Flow Basic, which is free. You get 2,000 words per week on Mac or Windows, 1,000 words per week on Flow for iPhone. You get unlimited words per week on Android for a limited time only. So unlimited for a limited time. You get custom dictionary and snippets. You get support for 100 languages. You get privacy mode. You get HIPAA ready. And then if you want to go up a notch, you can get Flow Pro, which is for individuals and teams, which has everything that Flow Basic has, plus unlimited words per week on Mac, Windows, iPhone, and Android. You get prioritized support and feature requests. You get a command mode for editing. You get early access to new features. You get team collaboration features. Now, most of those I don't care about, but I do care about the unlimited words per week. Then there's Flow Enterprise for teams who need advanced security and support. So, for example, if you want enforced privacy mode, so no data retention, if you want...
Okay. I rewrote the Patreon ad.
There were a couple extraneous slashes before the pricing, which I'll edit those out if you'd like.
Are you sure? What do they look like when it's rendered? Do you see those?
A slash before the $sign.
Shoot, that's necessary in Markdown.
Well,
you have to escape those slashes. Okay, yeah. Do a Command F for every $sign in the article, because they're all over the place. That's interesting. All right. Let's see. All right. I'm going to keep going here. Allison jumping in here with a few quick comments about Scott's review. First of all, Scott, I feel so bad for your hand injury. You know, I broke my hand, my right hand years ago, and I remember making work pay for a dictation. Okay. Allison jumping in here with a few quick comments about Scott's review. First of all, Scott, I feel so bad for your hand injury. I broke my right hand many years ago, and I remember making work pay for a dictation tool for me. I think it was Dragon Naturally Speaking. It was clumsy and difficult, but it was better than not being able to type at all. The tragedy of your injury is having to explain it to people. You really want an injury where you can start the story with, "Oh man, I was skiing down this hill so fast I nearly burst into flames." And instead, you have your story. Now to the audience. Scott was one of the early people to step up to help me with content while I'm on the injured reserve list. I was actually a little bummed when I found out he chose Whisper Flow because I was thinking about doing a review myself. But when I heard his review and read his content, I knew he did a far better job than I would have done on this. I also learned some things. Scott and I chatted back and forth a bit after he sent me his review, and we wanted to make a couple of clarifications. By default, the keystroke on the Mac is to hold down the function key or to double tap the function key, so you don't have to hold the key down. He had actually remapped it to the right command key, but that tells you can do whatever you want. One thing he didn't mention in his review is that you can actually... I thought that was a typo. It's not. One thing he did mention... Nope, didn't. One thing he didn't mention in his review is that you can actually whisper to Whisper Flow. Now, that sounds kind of silly, but if you're in an environment where you don't want to be seen talking to your computer or your phone, it's a terrific way to dictate. Scott mentioned in his review that he says oops or sorry when he wants to correct a mistake he said. I tried strike that, and it seems to work most of the time. If I flubbed up an entire sentence, I may start... If I've flubbed up an entire sentence, I may say start over. I've had some success with those. Lately, I've been trying oops, and it seems to work better. One feature was working intermittently for me, and that's saying new line when I wanted a new paragraph. I wrote to support, and I was astonished at how quickly they responded to me. I kidded around with the support person that I thought she was just sitting at her desk waiting for me to write in a message. That's how quickly she answered. The documentation and the support person emphasized that in order to use a feature like new line, you have to give a pretty long pause after dictating. Otherwise, it thinks it's part of the sentence. I've had to learn patience to get this to work. I'm glad I had the problem, though, because it gave me the opportunity to chat with support, and the support was phenomenal. One thing has been working only intermittently for me, and that is... Oh, good grief. Did I write it twice? Sandy, did you read this article? Oh, you probably didn't read the part where I said at the end. I have the whole thing in here twice about intermittently working. Let's see. All right. Oh, shoot. Steve, save.
What's that?
Save and get out from where you're fixing the dollars.
Yeah, I did. I saved.
Okay, but get out of it because I'm about to push.
I'm in
a different
preview.
version.
That shouldn't affect you.
Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hang on. So I did this whole thing twice.
I don't see.
One thing that's been working right after I talk about saying new line, there's this paragraph that says one thing that has only been working intermittently for me, and that's the ability to add a new line.
Yeah, I just don't see that the first time. You said you repeated it?
It starts with one feature was working intermittently for me. There's 3 paragraphs in the row. The first 2 are about the same subject as the third one.
I see now.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to send that to blog because that is a mess. Hopefully nobody read my part. All right, now.
Are you sending these up?
One thing has been working. I just did.
Okay.
So now it should be there. Okay. Okay. Scott expressed curiosity about the words per minute recorded by WhisperFlow. I suspect he doesn't type 163 words per minute because that is crazy fast. I mean, it's possible, as I haven't seen him type, but it's kind of unlikely. What I found out was that early on I was seeing very fast typing speeds, but it slowed down when I realized that one of the greatest things about WhisperFlow is you can pause and gather your thoughts before continuing to talk. With Apple's built-in dictation, you have to just keep talking as fast as you can or just stop transcribing. This ability to pause is what makes WhisperFlow more valuable to me for writing long-form content. With my leg injury, I'm finding that I'm in odd places instead of just sitting up at my desk, and it's often a little difficult to type. So I'm using WhisperFlow almost exclusively now for typing long and short-form content. I don't find it terrible on the phone the way Scott described it, but it is much more tedious just because of the restrictions Apple puts on third-party keyboards. It's still worth it most of the time to switch to that keyboard though. But on the Mac, man, I put it on both my Macs and I'm all over hitting double tap on that function button and I let it roll. I was ad-libbing, so I needed to find out where I was going. One thing that's a little weird to get used to is WhisperFlow doesn't show you a transcription as you're talking. This is the opposite of the way built-in dictation works. This might seem disconcerting because you can't tell whether it's doing it right, but I find it makes me think more about what I'm saying and focus on what I'm trying to get across rather than micromanaging that it misspelled a single word or forgot a comma. Scott mentioned the small lozenge on screen on the Mac waiting for you to start dictating. If you find this lozenge is in your way, like I did and like Jill from the North Woods did, you can disable it by opening WhisperFlow settings and under General toggling off Show Flow Bar at all times. I also want to clarify that privacy mode is available to you even if you're on the individual $15 per month plan, $12 per month paid annually. Why am I stuttering? Because I saw another typo. WhispFlow. WhispFlow. There it is. Should type the name of the product correctly. I also want to clarify. I also wanted to clarify that privacy mode is available to you even if you're on the individual $15 per month plan or $12 per month paid annually. You don't need the Teams plan to get that. If you go into Settings, Data and Privacy, there's a toggle that says Privacy Mode. And I think it's also included when you first onboard. It does expose that. This toggle is turned off by default if you didn't turn it on during onboarding, but it says, if enabled, none of your dictation data will be stored or used for model training by us or any third party. Zero data retention. I'm a little curious on that zero data retention because I can see on both of my Macs everything that I've dictated in the same app on the two different devices. So it's getting stored somewhere, but they're not using it for model training. Scott and I also wanted to make sure that you all got an affiliate link for WhisperFlow. The one I put in the show notes is purely out of the goodness of our hearts. If you use the affiliate link, it's not a length, it's a link. If you use the affiliate link, you get a month free, and we don't get a darn thing other than your undying gratitude. I was curious how my metrics compared to Scott's because I'm just wild about using this tool. As of the time I wrote a response to Scott, I'd been using it only for about a week, and I had dictated 30,000 words. Now, I'm only averaging 115 words per minute, and I've used it in 42 apps, so I guess you could say I'm a fan. Thanks again to Scott for a terrific review. And boy, Scott, I really hope you do more reviews in the future. This was fantastic.
In the previous post, did you send that one up as well? Because you said, remind me to save and post it. I thought. The hip update?
I hope so.
Right.
What did I change? Did I change something? Yeah, I did push it up, whatever it was. Yeah, thank you. Exhale gratitude. Yeah, Jill, it sounds like you're liking it so far. It's going to cost you $5, Kevin. All right. I think I'm going to talk before I put the chapter mark in.
Okay.
Before I start this next piece, I want to set it up a little bit. You're going to hear me talking to magician Jonathan Molo. Before I play this next piece, I want to set it up a little bit. You're going to hear me talking to magician Jonathan Molo while we were at CES. He calls himself the man in the purple suit. It works as audio, but you just might want to hit the link to go to the video to see the close-up magic he performs. Turns out he was working at the show to draw people in to talk to the Lockley folks at their booth, and it worked. Right after hearing Jonathan, you'll hear a terrific interview with them. All right. Jill says, I'm writing my notes as I read my books and starting and stopping my talking as I go, which is great. Before it was just recording me saying my notes with large minute-long gaps in the recording. Oh, that's good. I was using it for writing my notes for a Screencast Online tutorial I'm doing, and it's a very weird process now because the first thing I do is dictate my notes, and then I read those notes out loud for the video. So it's just kind of funny that I'm writing them, dictating it, I'm saying it, typing it, reading it. Oh.
That's a good way to check yourself.
Yeah. Okay, I just put the wrong link in. Jonathan Molo first. Yeah, I think I need to read the notes it writes more carefully. I'm noticing some dropped characters and typos that I need to read more carefully. I'm trusting it too much because it's really good. All right. Wait, let's see. Terrific interview with them.
Okay.
I have no idea what's happening, but this gentleman came up to us in a purple tuxedo, and he said he wants to start that just a wee bit earlier.
Okay.
I have no idea what's happening, but this gentleman came up to us. Okay, I'm not going to let you hear it after all. I played too much of the other one. All right, and then we're going to do another Happy Upbeats musical. And put the link in, save. Again, I saved an hour ago. All right, and then Lockley.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I wish we could play the magician video and have people see it. That wouldn't work, right?
In the Discord?
Well, into YouTube. That would be real weird. That'd be kind of meta, wouldn't it? Like where we could all watch it.
Well, a link to the YouTube video is about, I think, as good as we're going to do here.
Yeah, but we can't watch it together, that's all. And be amazed at the same... Amaze! Anybody know what that means?
2 thumbs down.
I like smart locks and I like safes, and I saw both of them over here at the Lockley booth, so I'm talking to Frank Polidoro. That was a terrific way to get somebody into your booth. I wonder how many people he got in. All right. Now we got Bruce. We'll play a little bit of Bruce. We don't have time for all of Bruce. This is a great review. I really like this. Whoops.
Wait, which Bruce?
Bruce from Tennessee.
Ah.
Not Bruce from Alabama. Bruce from Tennessee. And also known as Use the Data. Not all of the Bruces. All right, here we go. Much, Frank. This is fantastic.
Hi, this is Bruce from Tennessee with a summary of my experience working with Claude Code over the past several weeks. Claude Code from Anthropic is one of several AI tools that can be used to create software, as I'll discuss in this post. The show notes contain a link to an overview of Claude Code in Anthropic's documentation. The problem to be solved is I want a data processing and analysis pipeline to work with a large data product with thousands of files. In particular, I want to understand the potential errors, inconsistencies, and uncertainties in this data product, with the hope of helping to produce an improved version. I'm not going into the details of that work here, as I'm collaborating with a graduate student who needs to be able to publish their work for their degree. In this work, I'm using Claude Code to both help me improve my software development skills and develop this data pipeline. I'm doing this with the $17 a month Claude Pro subscription, which I also use for other things. Before diving into my experiences, let me clarify what Claude Code is and how it differs from other Claude products. Claude is one of the leading AI tools, published by Anthropic, as I mentioned. It can be thought of as three products: Claude Chat, Claude Code, and Claude Cowork. In fact, if you download the Claude desktop app for Mac OS or Windows, you'll see three tabs, one each for Chat, Code, and Cowork. Claude Chat is what most people are familiar with, particularly through the web interface at https://claude.ai. I have used Claude Cowork, but I'm not going to go into that here very much. It is a desktop tool that can be used to automate file and task management. As an example, I used it to extract text from about 40 different PDF files in a folder on my computer and give me that text in Markdown files in that same folder so that I could then do some other things with it. With Claude Chat, you ask questions and get answers. It's great for writing standalone scripts, explaining concepts, debugging specific snippets or problems, and generating code that you might paste into an editor or development environment. You can do a lot of that with Claude Code as well, but its primary use is as an agent. You describe what you want to build, and it writes code, modifies files, runs commands to test the code, and iterates until it thinks it's finished building what you asked for. It can build new projects, as well as help you understand and extend existing projects. It is designed for multi-file projects with complex dependencies and structures. It builds and runs tests like what Bart described in Programming by Stealth, episodes 33, 34, and 135, links in the show notes. You tell it the programming styles and conventions you use, like whether to use spaces or tabs, and it will make sure that that's done consistently across the entire project. As discussed in Anthropic's Claude Code Overview documentation, link in the show notes, Claude Code can be used from the terminal, a Visual Studio Code extension, the desktop app, or a web interface. Given that the data pipeline I'm building will run on my computer, the web interface didn't make sense for me, and I didn't want to give Claude Code the kind of direct access to the GitHub repository it requires. My experience then is primarily using the terminal interface and the Visual Studio Code extension. I'm focusing here on building a new project, but I've used Claude Code to help me analyze other people's work. In those cases, I cloned the repository from GitHub, opened that in a directory in Visual Studio Code, started Claude Code using the extension, and had Claude analyze the code in that project and give me a summary of what it found. Then I started asking questions. Claude was really useful helping me understand how those software packages did what they did. That was particularly true for a project where the documentation was rather sparse. While I have made my living as a software developer in ages past, I haven't done this scale of work in 2 decades, and I've never done it in Python, which is a really good language for data science and this kind of project. While I've followed a lot of the evolution in software development over the decades, and I've managed dozens of software developers, that's different than actually putting these practices into practice. With Claude Code, I have a tool that's helping me understand how those practices are applied, as well as a tool that's helping me build what I want. It's even helping me learn how to more effectively use Claude Code itself. I have 4 key observations after several weeks of use. 1, time efficiency. Tasks that would take me days to weeks now take hours. But this is AI-assisted development. I'm still driving the process. 2, quality improvement. Because iteration is easier, I often don't stop at the first working solution. I can explore alternative, ask about trade-offs, and refine the implementation. The end result is better than I'd produce alone and better than Claude Code produced on its first pass. In addition, writing and running tests is tedious. Using Claude Code for this means I have much better testing than I would have bothered with if I was writing things by hand. Number 3, active learning. I ask extensive questions and challenge Claude's answers. This questioning process is teaching me how to effectively apply modern best practices and improving my Python.
All right, you're going to have to hear the rest of the story on your own.
Cliffhanger.
Yep. Sorry about that, Bruce. All right. Let me just put a little thing here at the end. Thanks so much for that, Bruce. I'm loving learning all the different ways people are using AI, and I like the way you explain this without us needing to be programmers. I especially liked how you separated out the different types of code. Come on, can't get a sentence out. I also like how you explained the different types of Claude, because I was getting kind of tangled on that before you explained it. I'm trying to get my nerve up to see whether Claude Code could help me make my elapsed time adder into an iOS app. I would love to have it on iOS, but I just haven't gotten around to trying that. Maybe while I'm laid up, I'll give it a try. Claude. All right. There we go. Why do I do that? That's it. Save again. Last week during the live show, Kevin, also known as Big in Virginia, was being snarky. That's not at all unusual. In fact, I probably wouldn't recognize him if he wasn't giving me a hard time. But then he got John, also known as NASA Nut, going along with him. Imagine my surprise when after the live show, they both went to podfee.com/donate and each of them bought me a coffee. I made $10 just for letting them act like children. I hope they act up more often. If you'd like to be snarky to me, be sure to donate to support the show when you do by going to podfee.com/donate.
So that hasn't been pushed up?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Chit chat. Chit chat goes here.
That's why you said it's going to cost you another $5, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, we have standards now.
Yeah. Set a precedent.
Exactly. That's what I think. Bart really liked this episode of Chit Chat.
You not so much?
Loved it. Let's see. To support the show when you do by going to podfee.com/donate. Too long. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. This is episode number 831 for March 18th, 2026, and I'm your host, Allison Sheridan. This week, our guest is the scintillating conversationalist, Adam Engst.
Always, I have to go for new adjectives every time.
Well, I actually stole this one from the article that you wrote that we're going to be discussing today. I thought
That's right.
It might tickle
What's my
you.
goal in life?
Yes.
To be a scintillating conversationalist.
There you go. So your article is entitled "Reading Doesn't Fill a Database. It Trains Your Internal LLM." And I love everything about this article because it's such a weird way to think about life, but also I resonate with everything you said in it. So I think I'm going to be going, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I just realized I forgot to put at the beginning that we are not going to have a live show next week. I don't think we want to be worried about rushing back to do it, do we, Steve?
No.
Because we're coming back on Sunday from Fresno for Steve's dad's 91st birthday. I didn't put it at the beginning.
I just shove it in there. Just go back and...
Yeah, nothing ever goes wrong when I do that, right? All right.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Oh, boy.
It's going to go badly. April 1st. That.
April 1st.
April 5th. Right? April 5th.
I think so, yes. Wait. No. The show that we wouldn't be live is March 29th. I'm sorry. Where are we?
And if you want to join the fun of the live show, you're going to have to wait until April 5th to head on over to...
Oh, wait till April 5th. But we'd be skipping the March 29th show. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is going to go terribly wrong. Do I play the chit-chat out music? At the end?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's going to wind up this mammoth show for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like? What about a dumb question? We haven't had any of those in a long time. If you have questions or a suggestion, just send it on over. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You can follow me on Mastodon at podfeed.com/Mastodon. If you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube, go on over to podfeed.com/YouTube. If you want to join the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeed.com/Slack, and there you can talk to me and all of the other lovely NosillaCast castaways. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/donate, like our heroes Kevin and John did for being snarky. Or you can go to podfeed.com/PayPal for a one-time payment. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, you are going to have to wait until April 5th to head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCast castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. I know, John. Look, John. Okay, do you see that note right there? I waited until just now to decide if we were having a live show, but it says it here. Can't argue with that. It's not time for chapter marks yet.
Did you already slide it? Put it in and slide?
No,
Wait,
we're
you're doing
gonna
that
break
now.
everything
Okay.
now. We're gonna get everything in place, and then we're gonna break it. So I think the chapter marks don't.
Oh, you'll have to move them all manually, redo them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Jill. There's no way to slide all the. Yeah, I know it isn't on the calendar. It's still on the calendar because I haven't done it yet. See how it's still on my post-it on my whiteboard.
That's your temporary calendar. Your transitional calendar.
Yeah, Jill. There isn't a way to slide all the slide the chapter marks too, is there? I'm gonna mute I'm gonna mute that channel, and I'm gonna record it right here so we know how to do it. Where to do it. Okay, I'm going to put it right here. What did I just say? Wait.
So Jill,
Yeah, I can select them all, but I don't think it moves the chapter marks.
that's a
You know what
mess.
happens when I mess those up? Yeah.
Final Cut moves them.
Yeah. All right, here goes. Awful conversation for you too. It's going to mess this up. But before we get into that, I thought I'd give you I'm not doing it.
Probably
have to-
safer.
I'm not doing it. Yeah, because then I'd have to re-record that intro. So what did I just mute and unmute? Okay, there's no mute, no mute, no mute. Okay, it looks good. I'm chicken.
I don't blame you after what can happen.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so terrible. All right, make sure I didn't mess anything up. Hi. Actually, why is that all the way over? Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. Okay. All right. Now I think we're done. Okay, now check out the chapters, Steve. There is a lot of them.
I got 7.
Why do I only see 5? Because it's not scrolled, that's why. 7.
All right.
It's funny how often we hit 7.
Popular number.
Export. Okay. Counting is hard. It really is. All right. Now, while that's going, since we have 5 minutes, and John will not get off my case about this, let me figure out. It's so hard. It's so hard to fix
Do you want
the
me
calendar.
to manage the calendar?
No, yeah, you could. How do you get into what is calendar? Gmail. Maybe it's no. That's not it. Google.com.
That is hard.
No, I have to start there to get to the calendar button. I don't know. Is calendar.google.com? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now I have to go. Okay. How do you advance it? Oh, come on. How do you advance a month in a web calendar? Or advance a week? Is that it?
At
No,
the
that
top?
hides a side panel.
The little carrots, left and right. Don't those go a week?
No.
Mine go a week at a time.
Oh, wait.
Oh, because
Okay,
I'm in the
there.
week mode. You can go to
Okay,
different
no,
modes.
I'm in. Okay. So next Sunday, there it is. You know what I'd like to do? Can I change the name to say no live show?
Versus,
I bet it'll change all of them if I do it, won't it? Okay, I'm just going to delete it. This event. All right, it's gone, John. Is everybody happy? No, bad. Ron says. Did anybody get what I was talking about when I said amaze, amaze?
yeah, no one
No one got that?
got it, which tells me something.
Oh, I can't do that. Jeez, I just tried to
Oh,
fold my
you-
left leg.
Yeah, I saw that.
I almost did it.
Are you okay?
That's how I saved my back, is I put my left leg under me. And I can't do that yet. I'm close. That was close. I got it like 3/4 of the way up. Maybe I'm going to be able to do. Maybe by next time I talk to you, I'll be able to cross my legs. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
So no amaze, and no one got the 2 thumbs down.
It's from the movie Project Hail Mary. If you read the book, you should know Amaze, Amaze. Disappointed in all of you, especially John. John, you read the book, right? Jill did. All right. Hey, I just noticed there's no live show next week. I probably owe him $5 for that one.
It's worth
Or
seeing the
refund.
movie if you've read the book. In fact,
see a
I think
movie in a theater.
it's probably better if you've read the book
Yeah, I
than
think
not
so.
read the book. It's still a good movie one way or the other. If
Yeah.
you're into sci-fi.
Might be a little confusing without it. I'd like to talk to somebody who sees it who hasn't read the book.
Yeah.
Find out what they think. I
Go on
can't
streaming.
read.
You'll probably be waiting a little while, but that's fine.
Yeah. This was one we definitely wanted to see. We rented a wheelchair for me so that I could get there because the theater's accessible, but not on a walker. I'd have to walk about 5 times as far as I did when I got my blister. So,
At least. Yeah.
oh, you'll let me know. Okay, good, Ed. All right, I think we're done. 5:58. I managed to fill the whole show.
You sure did. And that's
Right.
without making that big change.
Oh, thank goodness. I just decided not to. People don't stay to the end. They don't know. They just don't know. All right, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Have a good 2 weeks.